Oh, again. Well, I'm running late. Fixed dinner a little late, and yeah, didn't get in here in time. How you doing, Rob? It's Sunday. Trying to eat some steak. Get ready for the week. So, how's your week been? Sorry that I'm out here chewing. Just don't want the steak to go cold, you know? Wow. I tell you, it was a nice fish, that's for sure. I could see where it might take a bit to get her in, take a lot out of you. Plus, being out on the water, you don't realize it, but it will just suck the energy right out of you. Let's see. We visited friends out of state with kiddos same age. Was great. That's awesome. That's awesome. How you doing, Sizzle? But yeah, I need to go fishing. I haven't been quite some time. Maybe if I can get some stuff, caught up, I'll be okay. I've spent the day working on videos. I've got one short done, one long done, and they're really the same thing, but they're going to be for different platforms. Now, working on another video, I'm probably about a third of the way with it. Nah, maybe a quarter. So I've got it's on the M12 Impact. I guess I'm gonna have to go out to the garage and get it, and see how that goes. I'm hoping to get it done tonight because tomorrow's going to be dedicated to schoolwork, nothing but schoolwork. Uh, how you doing, Baldy? Uh, uh, how about you, Sizzle? How you doing, man? I'll be right. Never mind. Here's my water. So I'm still working on things to prep. So I've been having a problem with my glasses. These are my riding glasses. On my, I've got the earpieces took off. So while riding, dust and stuff takes and blows up and comes in through here. It actually gets in my eyes. It's very frustrating. So I've spent a little bit of time making foam pieces and gluing them to the eyeglasses. It's ugly. I'm gonna get a razor and trim it up once I know that the glue's nice and uh, set. I'm using this E6000 a buddy gave me, and it worked well on my boots. So let's see how well it works on my glasses. I bought this foam from Amazon, and it's got a sticky backing, but it doesn't last super long. Like as soon as I start sweating, it starts coming apart. I always struggle with glasses when riding. Ended up buying a few cheap plastic pairs from the internet, or I blackout visors and contacts. You like that lamb sheepskin sweet seat, by the way. So if they wouldn't prescription, I would just. I've got other glasses I could wear that work decent with their prescription, and I've got to where I need them. Even though, well, I don't know what my eyesight is anymore. It was like 2025 with astigmatism. I'm sure it's worse now. because I really need this to read signs at a distance far enough to be able to react. Some of them you know what they are, but sometimes you're looking for something particular, and you know you need to see it. So yeah, I one of my lenses is a bit thicker, not on these, but on my other glasses. I've actually got a uh, appointment for a new eye exam sometime in July before I leave. So, we'll see. I actually need to look to see when it is and make sure. But yeah, the lambskin, sheepskin, I hope so. I actually bought it in 21 in Sturgis and rode it home. But the thing is, I did a lot of riding while in Sturgis, and I was already hurting. Um, and it didn't seem to help, but it could have been because there was no helping at that point. So we're going to see now because I am like, didn't really get sore from yesterday or yesterday, day before yesterday. So we'll see. I'm going to take a ride. I'm going to ride with nothing. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. I'm either going to ride with nothing out about 200 something miles and then ride with that back, or vice versa. And we'll see how it works. But I'm also using this right here, monkey butt powder. It's funny name, works awesome. Um, and one of the things, so riding, keeping dry down there is huge, because it affects it. Just you'll get chafed a whole lot quicker if you can't keep it dry. And the second thing is wearing underwear that aren't going to chafe you. And if you had some pure cotton that's nice and been washed, you know, a fair amount, those would be great. But there's no such thing anymore, or there probably is, but it costs an arm and a leg. So I'm using a lot of the real nice wicking underwear. So that helps. See, there's a company that makes motorcycle glasses too, designed for riding comfort. Yeah, I'm gonna look. I'm what I want to do. These aren't bad, but I want to find a pair. Um, and essentially, I'm gonna get my prescription and send them to a company and have them make them. And I'm probably gonna buy something, some brand that I know. Yeah, I imagine it does work well for um, hiking as well. Let's see. Sizzle Next doing okay. Baldy. Baldy never replied back. I hope you're doing okay, man. Anyone else on here? I hope y'all doing well. Uh, see what else. So I did. So taking the seat off and putting the new one on, not too hard on the motorcycle. I was able to use my little. I didn't bring it in here. I was able to use my little Harbor Freight kit. I love the kit. I'm glad I keep it with me on the bike. I've got other things that I don't keep on the bike, so that I've got one in the garage. But so this is the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. It's pretty good bourbon. It's not double oak. It's the double oak. So the double oak is good. It's a solid bourbon. But this double double, it's you know, yeah. You like to get a job again, like the socialization. I understand, man. Hopefully you can find something that isn't hard on your body. And I understand that completely. I I like socialization, but I like it in doses. I really like being a truck driver because I kind of like the uh I forget the word, but I kind of like the being alone. Um, but that's not really solitude. Solitude's what I was looking for because it's solitude is different than being alone. Okay, I can't explain it, but it's just different. Um, Another thing I've decided to do, and this was a backpacking trick, not really trick, but I'm gonna keep this in my little kit. Um, so I've got one hose clamp on here, and the rest of it's just a piece of pipe with duct tape on it. It's not duct tape; it's Gorilla tape, but it's yeah, Gorilla tape, duct tape style. Not sure how you do it. Another thing I've got is I bought this liquid IV to try. See how it does. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, switching gears. I hope to have a video out for y'all in the next day or two. The other video I've done that I got done today is a video of me riding across the Kentucky Dam, and I talk about it, the history of it. Not sure it's quite right for my channel. I may still publish it on it. May get some views, may not. I don't know. It's like 2.5 minutes long. So we'll see how that does. But I've got 2 or 3 tool videos that I could do up pretty quick that I need to do up. I want to get back right. I've been talking about it for a while. But I'm actually working on it now. So the goal is 1 video a week, and I'll start popping those out here. But I'm going to do a bunch up while I'm gone so that I can schedule them to go out. See, I'd like to get a job. Sizzle. Hopefully, you can get something in the industry you enjoy. Ford Porter is open, but it's full time. What's Ford Porter? Liquid IV is great. Thanks. I've tasted it. I've fixed up a pack and done it. So we'll see how it actually does. The thing is, I'll probably mix it 1/2 a pack to a water bottle because it is high in sodium. I've got the sugar free, so we'll see how that goes. Is there an enterprise near you? They often look for porters. Oh, okay, a porter. So I guess someone drive vehicle from one place to another. Okay. So Ford, is that at Ford you're talking about? Or a Ford dealership? So one thing I noticed, I got emails, and they're hiring. Ford is always hiring in my area, but they're hiring level LL6 positions at the at both plants. One, they're different things, and man, they pay so good, and I know I could get them. I know I could get one of those jobs, but I would be working 50, 60 hours a week, and just don't really want that. Plus, unless I could get, so you can, if you get hired on in those positions as an expert, as someone who's got X amount of qualification and not just sort of the minimum qualification, you can get hired in at like you'd been working there 5 years, and that would give you the 5 year level of vacation. I think that'd be the only way I'd even consider doing something like that. But if I could do that, I could probably pay the house off in about 4 years, you know, and everything else, and put a serious amount of money up, and that would be great. But it would take a hit on my other time, and I've got to, we've only got so much time left. I'm 53, going to be 54 in December. I might have 50 more years left, or I might have one, and we never know. And that's one of the things I think about. Yeah, I'm in a decent position right now. So do I want to change things just to make my financial position better? I don't know. See, consider suggesting that they keep your name on a list in case they need a driver, and go to 5 dealerships. We had some on call, folks. That would be cool. Just be ready for some wild trips. Yeah, the wagon sits sadly by herself. Yeah, Tank, and that's another thing. If I was to get a job, I would have to start paying people to do things that I don't really want to pay people to do. Now, I wouldn't mind paying someone to come fix my hose bib because I don't want to crawl under the house. Having someone mow my lawn for me, no big deal. But when it comes to other stuff, you hate to do it because, especially me, people never do it right. And if I do it wrong, I've got no one to bitch about but to me. But if someone else does it wrong, then it sucks. Let's see. Just be ready for his mom. Yeah, the wagon. I can start collecting social in February. That's not bad. Sizzle, if you just want some socialization, figure out a club or something you can do. If you need the money, that's one thing. But if you just want to socialize, figure out some type of club. Who's going to ride your bike for you? I mean, right? I ain't no one riding my bike for me, and it's got to get some miles on it. So that's a big thing. So, but another thing is this. I've said it before. This program I'm in for the military, paying for my education. I've got to get a job. I really don't want full time. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that completely. I don't want a full time job either. Sorry. Hungry. So, anybody got any cool new tools that they've bought here recently? I haven't bought any tools in quite some time. Let's see. I bought some things for like video and stuff like the Insta360. But tools, I've got a bunch sitting right here ready to do reviews on. But because I'm kind of changing it up and I don't want to do just a review where I sit and tell you about it, I want to actually use it, video it, and do that. It makes it harder. I've got two or three tools I've tried to use that it just wasn't the right situation, like the Tecton um, foldable ratchet. I actually used it on my Harley to do the oil change, and it worked great. I loved using it. Um, it wasn't necessarily the right tool because I didn't need it to be small, um, but it worked well. But that was hard to video. I didn't video it, so we'll see. Uh, just tossing things. I know we had part-time help with Sizzle. Perhaps it helps to jog some things. Yeah, I I wouldn't mind going to work for a Home Depot or a Lowe's, but I'd be afraid, like Sizzleneck, be put in a position where I am putting stress on my back that you know is no good, and I don't want to do that. But most part-time positions, most part-time positions are going to be labor intensive. They don't have. There's not a lot of management part-time. Maybe I could go to work at AutoZone or something like that. Someone comes in, asks for a hose clamp. I ask them what car is it for. What year car is that? I'm eating baked tater, and I got steak right there too. Yeah, I I agree, Rob. Um, every now and then, so corporate, yeah, they don't care about you at all. Every now and then, you do work for a supervisor that cares, but it's their hands tend to be tied. Um, I'm gonna tell you, working at the last place I worked, if anyone, if there was any issues where, let's say, a person has high or low blood sugar, and they were going into having some type of episode. So anything personal, I wasn't supposed to touch them. I wasn't supposed to do anything with them. I was supposed to call the union and the nurse. Period. They didn't want me doing anything with them because they're afraid of lawsuits. If it was work related, they still didn't want you to do anything, and they made you fill out a ton of paperwork, and they had made you drill down. Essentially, they wanted you to find out what went wrong, and you know, and honestly, it ends up being 90% of the time it ends up being something that the employee did that they shouldn't have been doing. Um, but every now and then, ergonomics needs to change on the job or something. It's so frustrating because you can't actually work to solve some problems. They want you to solve them, but they don't want you to work with the employee to solve it. They want you to do other stuff. And in all reality, I'm not explaining it right, but it just felt like they really tied your hands on some of it. Harbor Freight cashier maybe coming up soon, but that may be a headache. It may be a headache, but you never know. Um, it's really according to what they have you doing. That isn't a bad idea. If you got your lawnmower set up right, Mine's not. I'd be cutting their grass all cattywampus, one side of the mower deck's like this, and one side's like this. Um, I have to constantly adjust my deck to make it right. Um, we talked about lawnmowers here a week or two ago, didn't we? Let's see. I love our Harbor Freight people. Susan is especially nice. I didn't go get my free bucket this week. I should have. That way I could talk about, getting a free bucket. Let's see. I did get me a new poker chip. This is from Four Rivers Harley Davidson. They got a neat poker chip, and their dealership is built to resemble a steamship, an old paddle wheel, whatever they're called. It's built to resemble one of those. So it's pretty cool. And I've got that. I appreciate it, Tank. That gives me that poker chip means I've got one dealership left in the state of Kentucky. Then I figure out what I got left. I think over the next couple of weeks I'm gonna run down to Nashville too and pick up. There's one, two, three, four, five, six. There's six dealerships in and around Nashville, and there's another one out in Jackson that's a little bit farther. And I've got some of those poker chips, except I swapped them with people, so I've got to actually visit the dealership. That's part of the whole deal. I've got to visit, but yeah, I will. I don't know. I'll probably schedule Ohio as a part of something else. I might do Indiana as just for Indiana, just to, do it. But Ohio's a little bit further off. So what I'll do is I'll just plan some type of ride with you up there, Tank, and we can hit a dealership or two and also hit some pretty country and do that. And then we'll plan another ride and do another one because it's going to be tough to get those upper areas. But I already have one from Ohio, the Piqua dealership. Let's see. I did. I used them for bird seed. What do you use for bird seed? I'm sorry. I think Harbor Freight is serious. Oh, the buckets. Duh. I think Harbor Freight is seriously management depending. Our local one is amazing. The one 10 minutes further is rough. I agree. Are y'all seeing the issues with inventory? Because I'm seeing bad, like the stuff that I'm looking for, they don't have. I mean, it's usually the newer icon stuff, but like they don't have some of the stuff that come out a little while back, and it's crazy. And again, thanks for the chips. I'll go up there and ride with you, and but I also need to swap some with you. I've still got all of these are my ones that I've got more than two of. So I think I'm gonna stop buying more than two from now on though. Because it can get expensive. See, you start doing all got some cool places in Indiana for you to check out. Okay. Free Harbor Freight bucket. I need to hit the tool store when I get my allowance this month. Hey, I understand completely. I had no tool store for me. I've been spending money getting ready for this trip. The seat cost me $250, 200 something bucks. Um, I had to get new lenses for this or new protective cover deals. They've got a lens cover right here, and they're specifically for it. Well, I've already chipped it, so I've got to take it off, put new ones on. Um, I don't know how I done it. What else? I got I've done a few things. I bought me a new pair of gloves for my motorcycle, so that let's say I'm in a thunderstorm, a shower, and they get soaked. Well, I'm going to wear them for a little while. But let's say I get to my next stop and it's stopped and I'll pull them off, put a fresh pair of gloves on. Um, you know, if I'm trying to dry out and it's nice and hot, I might leave them on. But if it's not hot out, yeah, I'll pull them off and put the other pair on. Which I'm probably going to be in a lot of hot weather for the first uh, third, maybe half of my ride. At least the first 4 days, I think. So the first day to Arkansas, middle Arkansas, the second day to Amarillo, the third day to Flagstaff, the fourth day to Padant, Padant, something, Nevada, Padant, something, Pahrump. And then the fifth day will be through Death Valley, up and over the mountain through Yosemite to a little town just west of Yosemite. So that first part, which is 4.5, 5 days, might be pretty hot. I'm thinking once I get up into San Francisco and start going along the coast north, it might not be as hot, especially when I get up north. And I know there's some desert, drier areas up north, but I'm going to be hitting a lot of mountains, like up and through Idaho and, you know, Oregon. Oregon, I might be in some dry areas too. I don't know. Anyway, uh, need to big time for us. Think they're like Aldi's used to be one. No one was there. Now everyone is. I think our local Harbor Freight is empty because they're sold out. Yeah, I tell you, the very first time that I can remember going to Harbor Freight was Colorado Springs, and they had like a warehouse racking. It wouldn't be warehouse racking, but it'd be like industrial shelves, probably about 2, 3 foot wide, up and just stacked with stuff still in boxes. And it was all that orange painted big tools and everything. And it was a mess. Stuff was still in boxes, and like a V was cut out of it if it was a bunch of little things in the box, whatever. That's how it was. And this was in 2001. 2000, it was between 2001 and 2004 because that's when I lived in Colorado Springs. Um, so if there's any scammers out there listening in on this, yeah, you got a piece of my history that you probably can't use against me anyway. But anyway, I bought 5 items on Friday under $10, 30% off. Awesome. Wonder if the Icon stuff is getting so good, I'll snap on. And pro guys are quietly buying their inventory. I think it's going to be a mix of that. I don't think I'm willing to bet there's been about a quarter to a third shift in professionals going to Harbor Freight over what there already was. Um, there are going to be people out there that are going to buy Snap-on, Mac, Matco, and Cornwell, no matter what. Period. Then there's going to be the people who pick and choose. This is best here. I'm gonna buy it, which I think is probably the most rational deal. Um, and on down the line. See, what are you taking from New Mexico to Arizona? So New Mexico to Arizona, I'm going across 40 because I'm just not trying to spend a ton of time because I'm meeting with a real good friend in Albuquerque. Um, and that's going to take up an hour or two. Um, I'm going to go into the petrified forest, just into the tip and back out. Uh, it added too much time to do the whole loop. But then again, if I end up well ahead of schedule, I might do it. I'm also going to jump off on the Route 66 and do the musical highway. I think you can drive across it and it plays a tune. Maybe I think it's America the Beautiful. I can't remember for sure. Um, there was something else along the route that I was going to stop at. So, I really don't want to go across I-40 too much, but it's just, yeah, I need to, it's if I want to make any time, and the way my trip is set up, and Tank, if you want, I will send me your email address. I'll send you my itinerary. If you don't mind, look it over and tell me what you think. And if you see anywhere in it where it looks like I might could make a detour onto a cool route, hey, you know, suggest it. But I've got my itinerary broke down to like 30 minutes for each stop of gas, and I don't have the gas stops laid out completely. I don't have them laid out at all, but I do have some laid out. But I've got time in there for that. I've got time for taking pictures. I've got time for eating. And like even a 400-mile day, some of them are taking me 12, 13 hours total. So, yeah. Tank, I don't have the room. I want to do a spare tank, but I don't have the room. Um, Not on a 21-day trip. I could mail some stuff to Sturgis, but Sturgis ain't really the problem. It's having enough underwear and socks for the 11 days before I get to Sturgis. When I get to Sturgis, I'm going to be able to use washing machine. So I'm just going to, the night prior to leaving, I'm going to plan my gas stops out, and it's worked out well for me um, so far. I mean, up in South Dakota, from Sioux Falls to Rapid City, there's gas stops, but you better pay attention to what you're doing, or you're going to run yourself out of gas. Um, I can't skip the undies, buddy. I just can't. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, one thing icon. Let's see which side are you on? Cheap and replace. I'm going back up. Rags, high leverage Pittsburgh diagonal cutters, Doyle, high voltage screwdrivers. Good, good set. Um, which side are you on? Cheap and replace or invest and last? 90% of my stuff is invest to last. I hate buying stuff it's going to break on me, and it hurts. It hurts the wallet. But I mean, like, okay, a lot of people are not sold on them, and I wasn't. I got a Yeti for free, right? I don't know where I lost it, but I lost it somewhere. Well, when it come time to replace it, I had to replace it with a Yeti. This one, I don't know how long I've had it, but this has fell off my bike onto it, bounced out of my passenger cup holder. It was empty, rolled down the road, just all kind of stuff. This one has lasted me quite some time. But the big thing that I really love about them is these lids. They're the best lids, and I buy them and put them on other cups that I use too. So I am a invest in good quality stuff, um, not just tools. Um, yeah. Only thing from Icon as bad as their copy of Snap-on ball joint press. Yeah, I like my Astro. Personally, the Astro has been my go-to. It's not the best, but this new Snap-on is just super expensive. Between Jeff and yourself, I've got plenty of budget tools that are amazing. Look, there's some budget tools that I feel are quality, but I don't believe all of them are quality, and I do try some budget stuff, but it's not stuff I want to use. See, I'd love to. I'm so jealous. That's such a great ride. Yeah, Tank. Maybe next year you can go to Alaska with me. Start planning it now, man. Um, See, yikes, Walter. That sounds horrible. What did Walter say? Okay, only thing. Okay, yeah. Frame snaps in half. Yeah. Spare tank across. Yes, no joke. Every time you see gas, get some. I'll have it planned out instead of, especially because someone else is coming with me that needs it sooner than me, up to Albuquerque anyway. Santa sleigh, pack the packs, and wash in the hotel. Pack Tide packs. Yeah, I might do that. Skip the undies. One last pack flip flops for the slide. Broke a bone in a guy's hand and lacerations. Ouch! That sucks. That's the bad thing about poor quality tools. It's one breaks, but good quality tools break too. Ask Papa. I'm getting to you, Papa. uh, it's good to see you in here. How you doing, man? Uh, my friend used to have a trailer. Used to pull behind his bike. Let's talk about trailers behind the bike. I've thought about one. And maybe when I go to a trike, I will do one. But I'm just afraid how they pull and what effect it has on you while pulling them. They can be dangerous. There's a reason Harley tells you not to. And one thing is tongue weight. Tongue weight can be a killer. And even with trailers you pull on your car, you have to be very careful on how it's loaded. And can you imagine how much more important it is on a bike to have the proper tongue weight? Yeah, it's scary to me. And if I need that much, something's got to stay. I'm actually going to do a video on packing up and trying to see what I need and what I don't need. He used tool, not me. Uh, what's up, brother? I got one through work for free. I agree, they're amazing. Uh, see. Was that the OTC? I mean the Astro one. Is that what you was talking about, Rob? I'm so far behind on stuff on the messages. How is everyone? I invest in what works. I agree, Papa. Yes, sir. Remember, your mileage may change with the lower octane. That's another thing I'm carrying with me, a can of octane boost. Plus the heat. The heat means you need a higher octane or, yeah. I have one. Purchased cheap things that lasted a week, lasted years. Purchased big dollar tools that are broken in a week. Yeah, depends on the bike. I got more than 50,000 miles on my Jason lawn. Is that a tank? Is that a trailer? Pulled by my Yamaha and Hondas. Haha, the Yeti mug. Yeah. Now I've got other mugs, and okay, yeah, bike card. I've got other mugs, and I like them. I've got one that's personalized. Me and Tank, I think Tank's got one too, but it's personalized with his. If y'all don't know Hal Donathan is Tank, um, it's personalized with his road name, just like mine is personalized with Jethro. Jethro is my road name. Um, so yeah, and it works good. I just, yeah, I don't like it as much as my Yeti. Um, but this thing, I filled it up in Paducah, Kentucky, at Popeyes with ice and water, and I drank the ice. I drank the water out of it on the way home. So it was a 3 hour trip going home. I didn't run into some. I'll never call you Tank. Uh, I ran into some rain, some pretty bad rain, but I drank the water out of it, put it in my passenger. It was still half full of ice, about right there. Um, pulled. I had a thermos little deal that I did the same thing with. Pulled it up to the deal, drank it, didn't finish it because it ended up cooling off. I probably should have anyway. But got home the next morning, both of them still had ice in them. And I expected out of the more thermos one, but this one without a, you know, more thermal lid, I didn't expect it to still be ice and very little water. So I love it. It works great. Let's see. You have four. You have four Yeti mugs or four cargo trailers. Have Astro Tools and Crom Tools version nano socket ratchets. You like the Crom Tools? Are they pretty decent? Mugs with Tank on them. Again, I apologize eating in front of y'all, but I fixed everything too late and wasn't able to finish my meal. I mean, so there's how much steak I've got left. So it's about the size of my hand. Well, about the size of my palm. Wow, that looks awful red in the camera there. But anyway, what else? We're all human. Need to fuel and go. Yeah, and I ain't eat much today. All I've had was a little tub of yogurt and 2 eggs with cheese, and then this. So I had that for breakfast. One other thing I'm going to talk about, maybe y'all have some ideas on this. I know it's not tools, and I've talked to my wife about it, and she suggested some things, but just trying to get some suggestions. On my day that I leave for Death Valley, or on my day going to Death Valley, I'm leaving from Pahrump, Nevada, going through Death Valley. It's going to be about a 3-hour ride. I'm not doing all of Death Valley. I'm going up to like Stovepipe Wells, I think it is, and cutting across. So I'm going to be about 3 hours until I get to Lone Pine, California. I think that's the name of it. Bad thing is, I've decided that I need to leave before sunup. Sunup is 5:39, I think, in the morning on that day. So the hotel, they won't have their breakfast out. I need something. I need to think of something to eat that morning to get me through 3 hours. Now, here's a few things. I got blood sugar issues and it swings huge. So I've got high blood sugar, but I can bottom out extremely fast. And man, I'll feel horrible. So I'm trying to think of some stuff that will be good and sustain me, that won't, that's not bad for me. I'm trying to eat a little better now. I've been trying to eat better. So you got AC on the back. It wouldn't be a motorcycle if I did. I don't think, they're designing some stuff, and I could even get a cooled seat. I could buy a cooled seat. I even considered it, but I didn't want to spend the money on it because I wasn't sure how comfortable the seat was. That's why I bought a used one. I bought a used one of the same thing without the heating and cooling. So maybe next year I'll save up the $1,300. Oh, and so if you don't know about Harley, here's where Harley gets you all the way around, right? So the stuff isn't cheap. But even like you buy an expensive thing like this $1,300 seat. Well, guess what? It doesn't come with the wiring harness you need to hook it up to your bike. If you buy a backrest, it doesn't come with the backrest support that you have to put it on. Harley's horrible about that. They make you buy, they sell very little in a kit. I mean, very little in a kit. You can't just buy this and save a little money by buying it together. You got to buy this part number and this part. It's horrible. So I don't know how much total. It'd probably be about $1,400 for the seat and the wiring harness. That whole deal was because of that. And that's a lot of money. Buying a cooled seat, part of me says, man, that would be awesome to keep your balls cool. Awesome. And it would be. But the other part of me says, James, you're already on a sofa. How much more wimpy can you get to then go and buy a heated and cooled seat? So, I already know I'm not a biker, or what some people consider a biker. I know I'm not one. I'm not tough like that. But, I'm also not trying to be, super, super wimpy. But you never know. It could keep you from having a heat stroke. I don't know. Or at least keep you from getting, rash down there from all the sweat. Okay. We're all human, need fuel to go. Got AC on that. Beef jerky and cheese sticks. My watch is all messed up. It just gave me credit for sitting here rocking back and forth as steps, or moving my hands as steps. Anyway, beef jerky, cheese sticks, Pop-Tarts, peanut butter, oats is a good snack. Gummy bears are slow release sugars. I didn't know that. nutrition bars. Harley, I think, is where Apple got its business model from. Yeah. So it's packaging. Apple packaging is their deal. Um, but yes, it's nickel and dime you to death. Continually upgrade. Continually upgraded. If you got the upgrade already figured out, don't add it to this year's model. If it's already got an upgrade, add it to next year's model and save those upgrades. Yeah. I've always liked bare bone bikes. Bare bone bikes are awesome. But I'm telling you, I want one of these people that rides bare bone bikes that talks about how much they ride and how much everyone else is a pussy. Pardon my language. And I'm not talking about you at all, Papa. I'm talking about there's the people on the internet, they're always talking about, oh, you don't need the road sofa and all this stuff. I want them to ride with me once and we'll see. You know, you take your bare bones bike, whoever this person is, and let's go on the same ride. And if you can do it, I'm going to try to do it. If you can do it. And if you're 50 something years old, I mean, I'm not going to do the same thing that a 25-year-old is going to do. But yeah, I understand. So, Vespa in your future. Marathon runners do gummy bears and like gel packs thing. Yeah, I did the gel pack deal. Used to do it while hiking and stuff, or I tried them out. I'm not a big one on some of that stuff, but yeah, just don't do sugar free. They are laxative, and that's another problem. I got to watch it. So I've talked about it before, but I think I know I'm fairly allergic to some types of um, flour based breads, flour breads and stuff. I don't think it's all of them. I think the less they are made to last, the better they are on me. But if it's like something that's enriched and made to last 2 weeks instead of go bad in 2, 3 days, it messes me up. It gives me it makes me itchy, gives me feverish symptoms. Yeah, it's not good. Um, so I got to steer away from some stuff like that, like the Pop Tart. I'm not going to do a Pop Tart. Um, I just got to watch what I eat because I don't want to be out there and feeling horrible, on any of those days. I get you some gummies, brother. I can't do one of your gummies and then go ride. And you know that. There are some hardcore riders who ride bare bones, but it's not easy on the body. I agree, Papa. And look, if I'm trying to rip a 24-hour ride and I know I'm going to start at point A, get to point B, and be done, that's one thing. I can do it. I've done it now. I've done some 24-hour rides on my more comfortable motorcycle. They're very hard on the body. Just doing it was actually 22 hours or something like that, 1,300 miles. That's hard on the body, period. Um, I would try something like that, but I'm not going to, it doesn't seem like it's realistic to do it when you're doing multiple days in a row, usually long days, tiring, getting up early, going, it just, I could be wrong. I would like someone, really, I would like someone to ride with me. I'd like to see someone 40 and over on their chopper with no suspension go on a, you know, 11, 12-day ride with me. I'd, I'd, it'd be awesome. I would I would buy them a steak dinner and pay for their motel room for at least a night or two, you know. I don't know. I'm going to get off that soapbox. See, I just had a 15-ton hydraulic bearing puller. Had to get it for work. It didn't take much. Arm twisting. Yeah, I bought think it was a 10-ton. And all it was the bar, about that long, about that wide, and then it has the slots in it and the screw. And it might have been bigger than a 10-ton, but I think it was a 10-ton. And I made uh, an end for it to pull the, what was it? It's the I don't know what it's called. It holds the blades for a bush hog, and it's pressed on to the bottom of the bush, where the shaft comes through and turns it. So it wasn't coming off. It had been on there for, probably 50 years. And I had to get that, and heat and a lot of coaxing, and it come off. But I bent a piece of 5/8 inch steel of the thing I made to pull that off with. Yeah, it was a booger. I bet it is. Uh, well, I am going to get off here. I am going to work on a video. I hope to get this video uploaded today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. I've got to actually record some more on it. So I wish y'all the best weeks. I hope y'all have a blessed week. Y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all again next Sunday. Thank y'all for joining in. Y'all take care. Have a good one.